My name's Bethany. For friends and family who might be watching, this is just an update on my life since I've started nursing school, and this is my cat Belle. So if you're just tuning in off YouTube or something, I'm making this video for those of you who probably are a lot like me, and before I started nursing school or had even really applied to nursing school, I kind of just wanted to search what people's experiences were. I've been in school for 1 month now, so my 1 month experience. Here we go. I'm in a program that started with 51 people. It is an 18-month program. I started in June, and I will be graduating with my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing December 2018, assuming I don't fail out or something horrible. So this summer is only an 8-week session, and I have 3 classes. Health Assessment, 4 credits, Informatics, 2 credits, and Intro to Nursing, which is also 2 credits. In my experience, Informatics and Intro to Nursing are very easy classes. And they told us that, this summer semester is going to be pretty easy. And it kind of just progresses in hardness after that. Informatics is doing computers and getting acquainted with how to document things. We use this program called DocuCare, and it's kind of like your mock documenting, which goes along with our health assessment class, because there's a lab portion of it where we go in and we learn skills like taking blood pressure, doing the head-to-toe assessment. And every time we have that class, we go over a different section. And then in our informatics class, we kind of learn how to document over that, like you would do in a real hospital setting. It's also learning how to write an APA, kind of learning the basics of the technology, I guess, side of nursing, like the real basics. We are doing a communication project as a group project in that class, where we kind of had to search these articles and come up with these like flashcards for a simulation that we're going to be doing next week, where it's like you play a student nurse, basically just do's, don'ts, very simple, cited the references. And then next week we have a time where we're going to be going in with a couple of the professors, and they simulate an experience that probably does happen quite often in real life. What you have on your card is really supposed to be able to help you in those scenarios, and like we go over a lot of just others like PowerPoints. Like I said, charting is probably the most important. This is one thing I didn't really know before I started nursing school. You need to have these clinical requirements met, and what I mean by that is have your certain vaccinations. So you need to get like Hep B, varicella, which is chickenpox, Tdap, and MMR. Also needed to do a TB test, which is a 2-step thing. Needed to get my CPR certification. I needed to prove my middle name. I needed to prove that I had health insurance. You do have a background check and a drug screen. And I did those 2 things before I could even start this semester. So that's informatics. It's really, I think, an easier course. I don't know if that's for everywhere, but it's just kind of the basics of, how to use and utilize a computer in the nursing and healthcare setting. Also, we did all receive iPad minis, and we actually have loaded all of our textbooks on. I really didn't think I was going to like having books on my iPad, but what is cool about it is that many times. You can go through, and what is nice is that there are things you can click on that kind of help quiz you. There are interactive pictures. What's cool is that you can read about something, and then there will be either video or audio recording that goes along with it, which is really cool. We usually use it
Mr. Anders, can we
for
get
health
up
assessment.
one more time? I want to take a quick look at your hips. Next, inspect the hips for symmetry and shape.
What's also nice about the online books is that you can go in, you can create highlights, so it's like, you know, if you are reading and say you want to remember where something is, like, oh, this is really important, I need to study this, you can select it, push create highlight on there, and it'll move it to another page where it's like everything that you've highlighted. Also, you can go to the top and hit search and type in a keyword or phrase or whatever, and that'll take you right to where you want to go. So, besides, you know, foreseeable problems of like, what if my iPad died, then I can't read my book, that's kind of the only downfall. I like having an electronic book a lot more than I thought I would, so it's also cheaper than buying a text. It's also a lot lighter to carry around, not carrying around 50 pounds of books every day. So my other class, Intro to Nursing, is also only 2 credits, and it's a lot about like ethics and just like what is nursing. Like we have a few projects, like we have to write a philosophy of nursing paper where you need to come up with your philosophy, and we have a couple group projects. We have to write like an 8-page paper on, we got the topic of Florence Nightingale, which, I mean, again, it's not super hard, it's just time consuming and stuff you really have to think about. And we've learned a lot about HIPAA, which is something you will learn about, and we have gone over HIPAA is basically a confidentiality centered law act. I know my school has stressed, we've gone over multiple times now, like, what do you do when you go to a clinical setting? You cannot let people know where you are. Definitely not the names of any patient I will ever encounter will ever be put on a public platform anywhere or even spoken about to anyone. It's kind of hard because a lot of, you know, life is so much about like, oh, I want to take a picture of me, I'm first day in my clinical outside of blah 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 hospital, but you can't do that. You just want to keep your professional life and your personal life extremely separate. And we went over all these like Facebook privacy settings and you know, all these terrible experiences that people have gone through, and like really things that don't seem like they're a big deal that you can get fired over for breaking even a small confidentiality agreement. So you know, it seems a little overkill, but then again, it's like, you know, I can appreciate that if I was a patient, like absolutely knowing that I am secure and everything I say, do, and that happens to me is 100% confidential. All these things, like, I'm surprised actually that I've learned all of this in just a month. And then the health assessment. Health assessment is the most time consuming. It's the highest credit class, and it does include an hour lab every day after class. These classes are all about 4 hours, by the way. So health assessment twice a week, the other one's just once a week. In health assessment, I really like it. It's really interesting. I am shocked that I haven't even fallen asleep in classes yet because they're early in the morning and I'm not a morning person, but like it's so interesting, and it's nice because we do get a small break like every hour just to like, you know, keep the blood flowing, and we're learning about each body system. I think about the first like 5 to 10 chapters were more like the the basics, like the nursing process, and then like assessing people, basically. What do you do when you walk in a room and you just do an assessment? And we have these days where we have to come in and do it by memory, like a head to toe assessment, which you will learn all about. And we've gone through eyes, lungs, face, hair, skin, nails, trachea and thyroid, ears, heart. Did I already say lungs? Today was musculoskeletal, and so every lab we go in, and we're in like groups of 3, and we have our own professor that's kind of helping us out, and we go through these scenarios. We pretend that we're the nurse and they're the patient, and we go through this checklist of things, and then we try to do it again without looking at it. And then every day, every lab, it's a different thing, and then like halfway, a month in, we have to come in and do it in front of a professor, the whole thing by memory. It's fun because you get to like go in and you get to wear your scrubs and you feel like a real nurse and use your little stethoscope and your eye pen, which health assessment for our lab. We do have a lab kit, nursing kit. We got our little stethoscopes, which pretty cute. It's pretty good quality one, honestly. I like it. It works really well. We've got our stethoscope, have our blood pressure cuff, pretty standard. This has a thing on it, the Velcro, the little pump in there. And then we have smell and eye chart. It's pretty straightforward, just testing your vision. The eye pen light for testing the pupillary reactions. This is an example of an assessment. It's like you have to do those things, and then you just go through this list, doing all these things, and blah blah blah. I don't know if you can even read this, honestly. So every day we get a sheet about this long, and then the final one is just like all of them are together, and it's quite a bit, but it's really not. It's kind of straightforward. And we also have this big long checklist of vital signs that I need to get from people outside of class, and I need to get working on that, obviously. It includes a tuning fork, which you use to test hearing. You see it's vibrating. And then we have our little reflex hammer, which I think we're learning next class how to use that in your assessments. And the little scissors, which we haven't used yet. But health assessments is fun. It is the most challenging as far as the course workload and the exams, but I've done well on it so far, and it's very interesting. It is a lot of information. There's a lot of reading. And I would like to say that I have read every single thing for every class, but I haven't. I do tend to focus my energy towards that one, and the other two, obviously I still get my things done, but it's not my priority right now. Is my health assessment class, because the other two in my experience are easier, and I'm doing fine, but I don't read absolutely everything. But so far it's been a good experience. Like I said, I know that it's going to get more challenging, but this first month, like, I'm already a month done, which is awesome, and I feel like I'm gonna be done with the summer semester before I even know it. Wishing everybody the best, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.